Hey guys! So I am here for yet another book outlet haul, because I have pretty much zero self-control. So I've got... Oh, I regret lifting this. I have two boxes. So yeah, I basically placed two orders back to back because, well, there is a reason. There's a legitimate reason, but there is no reason why I bought so many books other than the whole lack of self-control thing. So I'm just gonna hop right into this because it's gonna be a fairly long haul, and I probably will have a haul at the end of the month too because there was a lot of book buying this month. So let's get into it. So the first book that I picked up is Fractured by Terry. Really? That's your name? I feel bad for you. That sucks. This is the second book to, I don't know what the trilogy is called or this series, I don't know. But the first book is called Slated, and I picked that up a while ago, and I saw this on Book Outlet in hardcover, so I figured I would get the second one so that I can maybe just binge read through it when the rest of the books come out. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this series is about other than a really panicked looking chick on the cover of both the first and second book. So we'll go into this one blind. The next book that I picked up is Uninvited by Sophie Jordan, and I read her dragon trilogy that she wrote, the like Firelight, Vanish, Hidden books, and I loved them actually. It was one of the first dragon books that I read in YA, and I loved it. So when I heard about this book coming out, I was actually really excited, and to be honest, I completely forgot about it until I saw it on Book Outlet. But I love the cover of this, where it shows the DNA strands and the girl's hair. All I know about this is it's set in a world where there is a kill gene, I believe, that you can see in people's DNA to show whether they are going to turn into a serial killer, I think. And of course the main character has this gene, so it's her story. The next book that I got is 1 + 1 = Blue, and this is by M.J. Auk. This book sounded really interesting to me because it's about brain fart, hold on. Synesthesia? That's the wrong word. Maybe? No. It's pretty much about people where their brains work in that one or more senses kind of link together. I've read different books about it before where certain letters or certain numbers or words are associated with a color or with a sound, so your brain connects different things, different senses together. And I pretty much love books like that. I think the other book that I read about it is called The Memory Artists, I think, something like that. It's really interesting to me, so when I saw another book that actually seems more like a work of fiction, it seems more narrative than just nonfiction, I had to get it. The next book that I grabbed is The 16th of June by Maya Lang. This just sounded really good. I really liked the cover, the artwork on the cover of this. I believe this is an adult fiction book set over the course of clearly one day, hence the date as the title. And I'm pretty sure it's about three friends who come together for, I think, a funeral or some event in their lives, and it just pretty much shows the connections of the three people coming together and friendship in life. It's a fairly short book, but it just sounded really good. It sounds like one of those like feel-good type books, so I grabbed that. The next book that I grabbed is Spellcaster by Claudia Gray. I loved Claudia Gray's Evernight series. I really enjoyed that, and I actually just picked up the final two books in that in my last book haul, so I guess I'm on a Claudia Gray kick. I just really liked this cover, and it's a hardback, and of course it's super cheap from Book Outlet, so I grabbed it. All I know is that it's obviously witches or magic. I didn't read that far into it. I kind of wanted to go into this one not knowing a lot. But it's a YA book involving a girl moving to a new town where something isn't as it seems, and there's magic, and of course a romance. So, yeah, grabbed this one. The next book that I grabbed is Nevermore by Kelly Cray. This came out a long time ago, like way back in the day in the YA section, because I remember seeing it. And I know it's a YA based off of Edgar Allan Poe stories. That's pretty much all I know. I think it's been fairly popular for a long time, and then it kind of petered out, And I feel like now it's getting popular again because I think the last one in the series is actually just coming out or just came out, something like that. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's a pretty hefty book, but I figured I would pick this up when I saw it for really cheap because it looks like something that I would enjoy. So yeah, grabbed it while it was cheap. The next two books that I grabbed are Precious Blood and Passionaries by Tanya Hurley. I had never heard of these books. I mainly was drawn to them because of the covers. I don't really know anything about it except that it's about 3 lost girls each searching for something, but what they find is beyond belief. That's what it says. It sounds like 3 girls come together that all have broken hearts or are missing something in their life. And of course there's this mysterious sexy man who can give them what they want and they kind of fight over him. To be honest, that doesn't sound that good, but I really liked the covers of these books, and obviously I have no self-control with books because there were 2 of them that match, so I bought them. The next book that I picked up, I am so stoked that I finally got a copy of it from Book Outlet because it's been kind of showing up and being sold out and showing up and being sold out. So I finally got The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, which is all the rave right now on BookTube, and I am really pumped to finally get a copy of this for super cheap. It's really exciting when they have like new releases on Book Outlet so I can grab them without paying, what is this, like $18? I don't know what I paid for it, probably like $5, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is about. I am really excited to get into this because I'm pretty sure the sequel just came out, so woohoo! Finally got this one. Okay, and the last 2 books that I got in this order, there's a reason why I placed the second order after getting this one, because I got Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, because they had the 2 of these on Book Outlet in hardcover, so I bought them because I know that I want to read them. Everyone is really into Leigh Bardugo right now, especially with the Six of Crows coming out. And I figured if I couldn't find Shadow and Bone for fairly cheap, which is the first one, I would just buy it so I could get into this. So then I went on Book Outlet the next day because, you know, the lack of self-control. We discussed this already. And they had Shadow and Bone in hardcover that will match the other 2. So I literally got the entire trilogy within like a day of itself. And I'm pretty stoked about that because I'm pretty sure I paid like less than $10 for the 3 books in this trilogy. But of course you can't place an order on Book Outlet with just 1 book. I mean, come on, you can't do that. So of course I got other books. So of course I searched around to see what else showed up, and apparently I hit it on a day where they added a lot of YA, which is always really exciting when there's a whole like new page of it. So I also picked up The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkowski, which I know is also really big on the booktubes right now. I think the sequel just came out like a couple months ago, so I wanted to grab this because everybody's raving about this book. It sounds really, really good. To be honest, I don't know much about it other than it's kind of like military driven, and of course there's going to be a romance in it because you can't have YA without romance. But it just sounds really good, and I have yet to hear anything bad about this series, so I'm pretty excited to get to this and the second one, and hopefully the next one, because all books are trilogies nowadays, will be coming out soon, so I grabbed that. I also picked up 2 books that I have already read, but I love the covers of them, and if I saw them for really cheap, I swore that I would get them, so of course I found them for super cheap. And that is Pure and Fuse by Julian baguette. I read these 2. I haven't read the third one. There's a third one that came out recently called Burn, but they didn't have it in paperback. They had it in hardcover on Book Outlet, so I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback to get it so that it can match these. But look at the covers of these. They are gorgeous. I remember seeing the like advanced copy of this a long time ago and loving it. I believe in its adult series, but these 2 are fantastic. I loved them when I read them. It's set in a world that like, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic, but pretty much a like nuclear war happened and ruined pretty much civilization. There's still like the high-class people who are kept literally in a dome so that they don't get infected by any of the other people who are left over from the blast. The blast pretty much killed everybody or mutilated everyone left. So all the kids that were alive are kind of mutated. I don't know if mutated is really the word to use, but they have kind of things that are embedded in them that wherever they happen to be at the time kind of absorbed into them. So they've learned how to live with all these weird changes. And of course it expands into a longer, bigger story about the whole world and the government and kind of a typical dystopian. I don't know, I feel like that word is starting to lose meaning in the book world, but this series is just done really, really well. It's beautifully written. It has a lot of very cool, almost steampunk qualities to it. There's a lot of like mechanics that are involved in it. So yeah, I'm glad I got these. The next book that I picked up, I'm really glad that I saw it. It's called, I think it's Secret, but I'm guessing Secret, by Lindsay Smith. And this is set, it kind of sounds like historical fiction. It's set in the communist Russia era. And I believe there's like some supernatural elements to it. I think there are kids who have psychic abilities and the KGB are trying to recruit them, obviously, to use them. It just sounds very heavy. Pretty much every review says that this is great. It was on a lot of like really good must-read lists from I think last year or the year before. It just sounds very interesting. It sounds dark. I mean, communist Russia. But I really wanted to read it, and the author that wrote Codename Verity quoted it on the back, so I think it's going to be a good read. And the last book that I finally picked up after this huge haul is Winger by Andrew Smith, which I never thought that I would read it. Nothing about this book really appeals to me, to be completely honest, other than the fact that it's written by Andrew Smith, and I love Andrew Smith's writing. It's super weird and it's super strange. It's a breath of fresh air for YA because it's very male-oriented and it's just weird. Let's be honest, it's just weird. But I know everybody who has read this book raves about it. All I know is it's about a boy who is sent to a boarding school and it deals with bullying and just teenage issues, but everybody says that it gets very deep and very dark by the end. And also the sequel just came out, so I figured I would grab this when I saw it and read it. So that's what I did. And that's it. That's all I got. That's enough, right? I think that's enough. So, like I said, I will most likely also have a haul because there are a couple other books that I've kind of accumulated this month in addition to these, because, I mean, I didn't buy that many books last month, so of course I had to make up for it, right? I'm gonna rationalize it that way. But, yeah. If any of you guys have read any of the books that I mentioned in here and think that I should get to it very soon, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go read, because I've got a lot of books now. So, I'm gonna go do that. I will see you guys in my next video.